it's Ian from RTO. Welcome to another retro ranking where we look at singles and the songs of some bands of since 1950 right up to the 1980s. And today we're looking at Tears for Fears. Now, there are not many shows. I've scoured through YouTube, and there's very little on Tears for Fears. Now, Tears for Fears are a British rock pop band formed in Bath in England in 1981 by Roland Orzabal and Kirk Smith. They had a band before that called Graduate, and when that fell apart, them two stayed together. Now, Tears for Fears are always been associated with that new synthesizer bound sounds of the 80s, but they were that MTV driven second invasion, British invasion of the USA. They were very popular in America, and I think some of their stuff, some of it sounds very much like In Excess, a band that I really do like. And I suppose I'm not a huge fan of these. I haven't got any of their albums as such, but I've got a couple of compilations. I've got a greatest hits, and then they did an album that's got some B-sides and some obscure stuff. So I haven't got much, but what I have got I do enjoy listening to. It wasn't just them as well. There were two other guys. Manny Elias was on drums and percussion from 1981 to 1986, and Ian Stanley on keyboards from 1981 to 1987. So let's have a look at my top 10 songs by Tears for Fears. Okay, coming in number 10 is a single from 1984. Didn't chart, and it's called Elemental. Now, although it is credited as a Tears for Fears album, the only person that's on it from Tears for Fears is Roland Orzabal. It's a very good track. It does remind me of In Excess, this one. You know, he's got a very similar voice to Michael Hutchin. It's a very good track, and I do like it. Excellent sort of track. It's got that funky guitar, and everything you get in an In Excess song, you get in this. Okay, coming in at number 9, we stay with 1984, and this is a track off the album Elemental, and it's called Fish Out of Water, again from 1984. What I like about this is the vocal from Roland. It's a little bit different. It's a different sort of sound, something that he's experimenting. Got no problem with that, but it worked. It is a very good track. Really like that one. Okay, coming in at number 8, go to 1989 and the album Seeds of Love. I know about this album because someone I knew had it and they've sort of played it to death, and it's a track that I really like off this album, Year of the Knife. That's got some mean guitar work in this. This album has got very Beatlesy effects and sort of, how do you put it, influence, I think it's the only way. It's quite an uplifting track, got a great beat to it, and it's one of them tracks that if you haven't heard the album you would have never heard this. I do like it. Okay, coming in at number 7, this is this as track off the sort of B-sides and rarities album that I've got called Saturn, Marshall and Lunatic. Came out in 1996, and the track is Pharaohs. Right, this has got nothing to do with Egypt at all. It's an instrumental type thing. There's a little bit of Everything Wants to Rule the World comes in it, and it's actually about Pharaoh, which is an area off the coast of Britain in the shipping forecast. For those of you that don't live around in the UK, we have on one of the radio stations, one of the BBC stations, we have the shipping forecast for fishermen and that sort of thing. And there's Dogger and I can't remember them all, but there is like the fishing forecast, and it tells you gale force rings strong and all that sort of thing. And Pharaoh is actually one of the areas. I like that. It's pretty cool. Okay, I think there's not so many of the oddity tracks now that I like. We're now going into some of the singles. So coming in at number 6, we go to 1985, got to number 2 in the UK, but number 1 in the USA. It's Everybody Wants to Rule the World. Everybody knows this. It's one of the most popular songs that they did. To me, it's okay. It's not my favourite. I think where it sits is pretty right for me. It is uplifting. Very good track. They used it for a sport aid as well. They turned it to Everyone Wants to Run the World. I've got no problem with that. Pleasant enough tune. Okay, coming at number 5. Go to 1984. Released in the UK. Only got to number 14. Didn't chart in America. It's Mother's Talk. Again, this reminds me of In Excess. It's got that nice beat, great vocal, pretty good track. Okay, coming in at number 4, we get to 1983. Got to number 4 in the UK. One of the less favourable ones in the US, only got to number 73. It's Change. I love the keyboard in this. It's very good. It's very delicate. Nice track. Okay, number 3. Go to 1984 now. Got to number 4 in the UK, number 1 in the UK, in the USA. Shout. Another classic song from the band. What I like about this band, we're in 1984, and production on music was not particularly good. Any bands would come out with this horrible production, but this hasn't. They never did have an album or songs that the production was, you could tell it was from the 80s. This is a very good track. Hasn't got that horrible production. Really good, strong song. Okay, coming in at number 2. 1989, got to number 5 in the UK, number 2 in the USA. Sowing the Seeds of Love. This sounds so much Beatles, but it's brilliant. Reminds me of, could have been on Sgt. Pepper's White Album, that sort of era. Regardless if you love rock music or just pop, this is just a great track. Love listening to that. So, my favourite track by Tears for Fears goes back to 1982, one of their first singles, and it's Mad World. Got to number 3 in the UK. There's just something different about this song. I like the beat. The vocal's great, and I didn't realise this, that the final chorus was ad-libbed by Kirk Smith. It's a great vocal. Now this version, the best version, is so uplifting and just a great arrangement. And then a few years later, some bloke called Gary Jules come along and did a cover of it, which is awful. It's dour. It's so depressing. How can they chant a track that wasn't depressing and they turned it into this dour, depressing song? It's horrible. I hate it. Just made some money for the boys though. But there you go. Okay, that's my top 10, but I have got some honourable mentions for you. The first one is a cover they did, and it's on the Saturn and Marshall and Lunatic album, 1996. And it's a cover of Ashes to Ashes from Mr. Bowie. And they do a really good version of it. I really like it. Still, even the vocal sounds like David. It's pretty cool. Okay, my next one is a song they brought out last year. It's on an EP, and the track is called No Small Things. This is great. One guitar and one voice. I think it's Roland singing it. It's great. Very gentle, very nice. And my final one today is from 1995. It's an album called Raoul and the Kings of Spain, and it's called Don't Drink the Water. This came out in 1995, this album. I like this again because the guitar work is brilliant and the mix is good and it sounds like In Excess. So there we are, a little bit different. We do like doing the obscure stuff that no one else does. That's always been my thing. I'll do stuff that no one else does. And Tears for Fears are one of them. Now, if there are some Tears for Fears fans out there, and you're watching this for the first time, and you're watching this, watching the channel for the first time, we do bands like this. We don't just all do rock and metal. I like music, full stop, and I appreciate all genres of music. There are ones I won't go near, but this is from when I was growing up, and I did like some of the music from the 80s, as you know. So if you want a full album ranking and you're a new person, just put it in the comments, and in the next few weeks or so we'll be doing a full ranking on Tears for Fears, if you ask. One thing about this channel, you ask, you get. Even if I'm not really into a band, you will get, because it broadens my music, and it's a channel done for me. I do it for you to come up with ideas as well, so everyone gets involved. Okay, that's all for today, folks. Tomorrow is Wednesday, and is Marathon Day, and yes, it is a viewer's request. Start another great little band from America, from the West Coast, called the Doobie Brothers. As you will discover tomorrow, there is one thing about the Doobie Brothers I like, and that's their earlier stuff. So I'll warn you now, if you like the middle stuff, don't expect them to be at the top of my ranking. I don't dislike the albums, but I prefer the more heavier sound they had at the beginning of their career. So join me for that one. Have a great day. It's actually a nice day here in Northampton, so hopefully we'll have a nice walk with me and Rock whenever he wakes up. He's still snoring his head off. I'm going to come back as a dog, I think, in a good home. So I'll see you all tomorrow. Take care for now.